Hi, how are you?
Is gonna be all about blocking your Vespa and protecting it for thief, all the blocking system that you can get for your bike. So this is actually gonna be like one of the best options you can get for the Vespa, because I haven't seen anything so cool as this thing. So let's get started. Here. As you can see, we got a new box here in the table, and that's gonna be thanks to EasyBlock. Thank you so much for sending this out. This video is actually sponsored by them, by EasyBlock. So thank you so much for that. Company based on Italy, and they make a block system for motorcycles to protect your bike from thief and stuff. They were really nice to send me this out so we can try it out on the Vespa and show you guys how this works and how convenient it is, and if it's really worth getting this for your Vespa. It's really an optional thing to have on your bike, and mostly depending where you live. Here in the United States, the Vespa thief rate is not really high, you know, like people are stealing Vespas around here. It's not a common thing. A lot of people might not consider having this on a Vespa on your motorcycle here in the United States just because they don't find the need to it. But I think it's always good to have a blocking system for your bike, wherever you are gonna park it, wherever you live, or wherever you at, or anything, you know. I think it's always good to have a secure system to block your Vespa, not only from thief or from your friends that just wanna like play you a joke or something. This thing is actually even helpful to service your bike. Crack this open, give it a shot, and see how it works, see how it looks, and see how convenient it is. See if it's really worth having this on your Vespa here in the United States, at least. It should be a really easy installation. This is not like one of those blocking systems like the one that goes in the handlebar or the one that goes in the brake, that you have to remove the entire thing and then you have to like do something with the big piece of metal. You have to like put it in the helmet compartment, in the glove box, or you have to like put it on your back. It's usually heavy because it's a big piece of metal, you know, like a solid piece of metal. The other cool way to block a Vespa is with the I forgot the name of that thing, but it's that chain that blocks from the seat to the handlebar to one of the bar ends. One of the best ways to block a Vespa, but if you also have that big chain and you have to like sacrifice your bar end ways for you to be able to put that system on, there is always something that you have to sacrifice to be able to install a blocking system for your bike. And I think this EasyBlock system is one of the best options, at least for a Vespa, because you just install this on the rear wheel and that's it. That's pretty much all. You don't need anything. You just have to have the key and that's it. So it's not like you have to remove the piece of metal and find a way to save it or anything. And that's the actual cool thing about this. It's really easy to block, easy to use, easy to install, nice looking. You can even tell if the bike has this or not. Like, you will notice once you know it's there, but it's really convenient to have this on your Vespa because you don't have to be carrying anything right at the key, you know. Not like the other blocking system that you have to like deal with all the stuff, you know. You just bolt that thing right on and it's gonna be there forever. Let's proceed and crack this open and see what we got. Oh, look at that. But let's see what we got in here, man. Oh wow, look at that. They include a nice keychain. Man, this is like really cool, man. Make sure you scan this and register your guarantee. Do that in a second. Help us spread the word. Scan the QR code to leave a review. Pretty nice. I'm guessing this is like put something on it so you don't lose it. Got the nice keys here. Man, these are like well done keys, man. Pretty unique. Really nice. And we got the actual piece here. Look at that. So this is the actual piece, and this is gonna go bolted into the exhaust bracket on the Vespa. And all you gotta do is you just like press this in and it's locked. This is gonna extend into the wheel and it's gonna lock the bike, and that's pretty much it, you know. Then you just come with the key. Oh, they say to activate it, you have to like give it a hit like that, and then you come with the key, and boom. The build quality of this thing is just solid, man. This like solid metal. It seems like really well done. Should be a really straightforward installation. This is supposed to go bolted on exhaust bracket where the shock, one of the bolts from the exhaust bolt in here, and that should be it. Pretty much good to go. That's the cool thing about this EasyBlock system, that you only have to have your keys. You don't have to like take this thing apart every time you're gonna use it, like the one from the rim or like any other blocking system for the Vespa. Is always a pain in the butt, you know. And this, man, EasyBlock, man, look at that. The build quality of this thing is really amazing, and the fact that the way it blocks the Vespa is using the real wheel. This actually can be used as a special tool to remove the CVT cover, clutch, the barrier, or anything that you want to remove that you need to lock the wheel. And even to remove the main nut from the wheel, you need to lock the rear wheel, and usually you will do that your rear brake or using the special clutch tool. Now that I have this on my bike, I think this is what's gonna be using to do all those things, you know. It's not only gonna be protecting my bike, but it's also gonna become really helpful when I'm servicing the bike to be able to, like, you know, get the wheel off and all that. Everything looks really high quality. This system is just flawlessly. Let's give it a shot. Let's bolt this into the Vespa and see how it works. Let's get into it. Okay, so this is basically all you're gonna get in the box. Thank you so much for EasyBlock for sending those awesome keychains. I'm definitely gonna be using those. We can save these for later. Of course, don't forget to register your guarantee, and please share the word. Scanning this code, you can make a review so you can spread the word and get to know people this amazing system. So let's put this on the side. They also sent a pair of keys. These are actually really high quality keys. As you can see, they have a very secure system engraved. These are really high quality, so you want to put one with your Vespa key, and the other one might want to give it to your wife or husband, or save it on your at home, or give it to you, I don't know, whatever you want to do. Just save it in a different place. And then we got the amazing block. This thing really has some weight to it. It's actually not like crazy heavy, but it does have some weight to it. As you notice, there's some nuts here on the corner. This is a needle grease, so you can refill grease inside this pin, and you can actually see, I think there's like an oil seal going on there as far as I can see. It's a really high quality system, so let's install it on the Vespa and see how it works. Let me show you the tools you're gonna need for that, so let's get into it. So here are the tools you're gonna need. All you're gonna need is basically a couple of wrenches and a couple of sockets just to remove the exhaust, the shock, and the actual shock, which is a 24mm socket, and that's why we have the big adjustable wrench, or the 24mm socket, or if you wish, also a 24mm wrench. Anything you have in hand is gonna work. Then basically it's all the same tools you're always gonna use to remove the rear wheel, which is gonna be a 17mm socket, a T40 to remove the bolts from the exhaust, a couple of wrenches. It's always recommended to have some extensions to work more comfortably, and of course it's always recommended to have a torque wrench so you can put everything at the right torque. These are basically all the tools you're gonna need, so let's get into it. Your screw is bad looking like this and you struggle a little bit to remove it, I highly suggest to clean it a little bit with some anti-corrosion or polisher, whatever you have in hand, or just with a metal brush. Just like clean off that rust out of the screw and add a little bit of anti-seize into the screw. So like with all the screws, you know, like I always suggest adding a little bit of anti-seize, and more in Florida or like in a salty area like here, like in a beach or something, you definitely want to add anti-seize to all your screws. So something you want to keep in mind, and this is really important, is the type of wheel that you have. This whole thing, this system was designed with the OEM wheel that the Vespa GTS come with it, and all the versions that they sell for other, like the Primavera and the Spring, they were all designed with the stock wheel, with the OEM wheel. So as you already know, on the Vespa market there is a lot of aftermarket wheels. They all have like different shape and different sizes, and it's really hard for that company to, you know, fit or know all the sizes and wheel types that are out in the market, you know. So it's really hard to know if it's gonna work, or if it's gonna like be really close to the wheel or anything. So you want to keep in mind the type of wheel do you have. You probably want to contact them before you order the piece, just to make sure the kind of wheel you have. But it's obviously work without any issue, without any of the modifications that I'll do to use it with the stock wheel. Since I have this version of this wheel on my Vespa, it does fit perfectly with this type of wheel, but since they have a little plate, see, the pin has just a little plate that goes back and forward. That plate, once I lean the bike to a point, it start rubbing my wheel just a tiny bit. See, it doesn't happen all the time. I guess just when I'm leaning the bike a lot into that angle, that force the pin just to like move out just a tiny bit from that free plate that has. It's like a locking mechanism that is inside, so it doesn't activate with any extreme force, you know. That's why you have to kick it to push the pin out, because there's like a lock system that have to be pushed hard to be able to like push the pin out, not just something slightly. So that's why I have that free plate on that pin. So you want to keep in mind that free plate. So once you install it on the bike, put one of the spokes that get closer to the pin and push it back and forward, and just see if that free plate makes contact with the wheel. And if it does, it can be fixed by adding a washer into this position here. So as you can see, when I mount the piece, you see how we can have some space there, and you see how it gets closer to the wheel. See, so if we like separate, it will help, you know, add some space there. You see we have some gap in there that we can add the washer. Push it and put the washer in there. So you can push the whole bracket outside just that tiny bit that you need from the wheel. And that was something that was recommended from the company too. Like I contact them and I asked them about that, and telling them, you know, I f***ed up my wheel without knowing. And they told me that, you know, like it's really hard to, you know all the type of wheel that is out in the market, you know, because they're all aftermarket design from different people that doesn't keep things in mind for this type of accessory. So I went to the hardware store, and actually went to Lowe's, and I find this side of washer, and I'm gonna be able to fit that spacer up here, see, and I'm gonna be able to push that bracket just a tiny bit out, so I'm able to fit that. So the size of this hole is actually 25 millimeters, so it's 2.5 centimeters wide. This is a washer I was able to find at Lowe's. It actually fits perfectly in this right here. I'm gonna be using just one because I think it's enough, but if you need to add more washers, I think you can add both. So if you can see, I add both those washers, and I'm still able to mount the piece, and I still have some room on my wheel. See, this is a washer you'll need to add there. You're struggling with that issue. So, and the other thing that I find out very interesting is that since they have to be like services every 3 months due to like all the mechanisms that have just, you know, grease in the inside, and that's why we have this green nipple here, because you have to like add grease every like 3 months or every a few months depending on how often you use the bike. But I find out that since this is really close here into the wheel and the exhaust, is where all the dirt and all the shit is going around, you know, and the whole pin is exposed, and it's gonna get like really bad inside the hole for the key. So it might affect the mechanism if you ride a lot in the rain, or if you go like through a river. Now that I'm off-roading with the Vespa, you know, it's a really thing that is gonna like affect a lot. I just went out for a quick ride, and it was just like 2 miles, like it didn't spend that much, and I came back, and this whole pin in the inside, since it's all loose and stuff, it was already full of dirt. I don't think that's actually really good. I went ahead and I grabbed from one of my shovels, you know, the little cover behind the shovel, or from a broom or something, and I put this rubber piece inside there so it protects while I'm not using it. And since I'm not gonna be using this that much, because I don't ride a lot like in downtown or like in areas where I'm gonna be worried about the bike, this is something that I'm not gonna be using as often, like to have it that exposed, you know. Like if I'm commuting to work at downtown, where I'm gonna leave my bike parked the whole day in an area that is really exposed, I'll definitely be using this every day, and I wouldn't put any cover on it because it's just gonna be handy the whole time, you know. In my case, case, I think it was a good idea to put a cover over that, and it makes the whole system last a bit longer, at least with the service, you know. And the other thing I think was a good idea, since we have this green nipple all exposed to, I grabbed from one of my old calipers or brake levers one of these rubber pieces from like a bleeding screw cover, bleeding screw rubber cap. I don't know how they're exactly called, but you can find any type of this like in a hardware store maybe. I think it's a good idea if you also put just a cover there so it protects everything nicely. So I'm gonna proceed and add the washer here. I'm gonna proceed and mount the piece to see how well it works, to see if it doesn't rub the wheel or anything. Let's give it a shot. This is how you easily install and use the EasyBlock on your Vespa, and it actually brings a lot of functionality to the Vespa, because this is not like any other locking system that you have to deal with all the heavy stuff and, you know, remove it from the wheel, or you have to sacrifice always something to be able to have a locking system on your bike. Man, these people finally did it. This thing is like completely give you peace of mind. You don't have to worry about anything about taking this piece out and finding a place to storage or anything. You don't have to do anything. Just install it on the bike, leave it there, and use it whenever you want. Whenever your bike is not safe, in a safe place, give it a nice kick and it's gonna lock your wheel pretty nicely. Boom. See, it's that easy, man. Put your cable in all the way into that pin. See, once it's in the pin, you release it, and that's it, man. This is amazing. Right, so you might be wondering why I have that orange cable sitting there with the fuel tank and everything. It doesn't make any sense at all, but that cable is actually included for you to use it as a reminder that you have your lock in, you know. And I find this was the best place to put it on. I hook it up here inside my fuel cap, as you can see. I don't have to like storage or worry about having this cable around or forget about it. It's always there visible for me to know that I have to use it, you know. I figured out to put it here. Maybe you can just storage the whole thing in the helmet compartment without like hanging this around. I just like how it looks, you know, interesting. But this cable is actually used as a reminder for you to put it on here on the hook, so you don't forget that you have your lock in and you just start riding with it, because you're gonna pretty much fuck up your wheel. So that's a really nice touch, a really nice detail that they include that cable, so you don't forget that you have your lock in when you activate it. So once you like park and you activate your lock, you don't want to forget to put this cable on, because this is gonna be as a reminder. So I figured out I can hook it from the back like that and just let it hang like this, you know. Whenever you come to the bike, you're gonna see that cable, because it's, you know, it's really visible. So whenever you come here and you proceed to unlock your bike, you can just release the cable as it is, you know. I figured out, like, if you put it on the pin that it sticks out from the opposite side, once you lock it out, you're just gonna release the cable by itself. So it works really nice, man. I really like that nice detail, so you don't forget and fucked up your wheel. And I figured out that that's the best place for my bike. It gives an interesting touch. Maybe people wonder, what the hell is that cable doing there? But it actually looks really cool, man. Apart from the keychain that they include with the kit, those two things are actually really high quality and pretty useful to have.